to my wonderful Ghanaians. Hi, lovely people. It's my Nigerian girl pleasure bringing you political news in our channel Akuma TV. Dr. Bawumia outlines the bold vision and specifies plans as the flag bearer of MPP ahead of 2024 election. Please, Rich.
Assessment of yesterday's speech. He spoke for quite a while. Doc, you were there. Mm-hmm. What's your general assessment of his speech?
So yesterday for me, I think was a turning point for a lot of Ghanaians because the MPP has been in power and has run a government for 7 years. During this government, and let me liken this situation. For me, I keep telling people, and I say liken this government to, in academia, I'm a lecturer. I have professors. My professors have held my hand and gradually brought me on board as a good academician. Does that mean that all the methods that my professors used, I'm going to discredit it and say that this is not what is good for me? No. At the same time, too, you're not going to tell your professors or tell your students that, you know what, all the theories that your professors taught you are wrong. No. It's a stepping stone. So I was really excited for the whole of Ghana because everyone wanted to hear what is his vision? What is he bringing on board? What is he going to say that adds on to what the MPP has done, the current administration has done, and at the same time express his vision in a way that tells us that moving forward, we need to give him a chance to also be president. And for me, he delivered excellently. He was so on point. The first part of and now we call him leader and flag bearer of our party. The first part of Dr. Bawumia's speech emphasized consistently on the achievements that we have made in the 7 years. And then he went to talk about the hindrances and the limitations, the things that he believes that these were the issues that troubled us, that challenged us, and that did not go well for us. And then he went on and launched his vision, proffering realistic solutions. He didn't ask for time off. He didn't ask for a honeymoon. He didn't say that I'm not going to do this. He just went straight into what he's going to do. And I think in brief, that raised hope. It elicited a lot of joy. Unfortunately, Nanaya maybe didn't want to listen to it because she already went there with or she was already having a mind where I wouldn't even give a chance to listen to what the person is saying. But I can speak and say that for everyone who went with an open mind or who listened with an open mind, millions of viewers across the country, the kind of feedback that I received about what Dr. Bawumia spoke about, his vision, his statement, his expression, his discussion, his decisions, his emphatic,
Indeed, Dr. Bawumia gradually outlined everything he's supposed to do for the people of Ghana. And he did it academically well. You will know that this man is actually very smart upstairs. And he knows everything he's doing. And yes, I was so happy he acknowledged all the work that his boss did. Yes, which is our president now, that he will succeed very soon. He acknowledged every of them and he emphatically he did it step by step, and everyone that cared to understand understood all the vision that Dr. Bawumia has for the people of Ghana.
Solutions and saying that this is what I'm going to do. It was very positive. And for me, I don't say that this is just for the MPP. I say this is for the whole of Ghana because that is what we are looking for at the end of the day. What is Ghana going to be? How do we move Ghana from this stage to the next stage? A lot has been done, but I think the challenges that we have faced from COVID to the war and etc. have showed us that as African economies, we are not an island. We are actually right in the middle of all the situations. And when these external exigencies come and hit us, this is how we're going to have to be. So it gives me a lot of hope that there's a lot of things that in his statement talks about a future that makes us even more solid than we are today. So for me, that's...
Would you agree that it would seem that Dr. Bawumia seemed to want to associate with the things that have gone well in this government, with as vice president, as head of economic management team, working with the president, the things that, you know, have been successful, like he spoke extensively about digitalization and, you know, where he's taken us to, where he's brought us to. But he seemed to want to insulate himself from the things that did not go wrong, did not go well or as planned. For example, stating that he had no decision-making powers as head of the economic management team and that he could merely advise.
I don't think that he distanced himself from that, because I think the vice president spoke a lot about economic growth. He spoke about the growth figures. He even spoke about all the different economic figures that we always look up to, from inflation to depreciation to etc.
Yes.
And
But
he actually spoke about the times when these things started improving. You see, there's something that I keep emphasizing every time I'm on air, and I keep speaking to the fact that we haven't come from nowhere. We inherited an economy. What did we do with it? And then what were the factors? In every situation, in every circumstance, there are factors that contribute to the changes that we see, or to the growth figures that we see, to everything that we experience. So he did speak to those issues.
Okay, but
so
he
it's
also
not about
very
the fact that he
specifically
distances himself.
He also very
talks
specifically
about
said
it.
that he was going to scrap certain taxes, e-levy, emission, betting, and so on. These are taxes that were implemented at a time, or now, when he is the head of the economic management team. He was instrumental in the implementation of these taxes.
And that is what he kept emphasizing.
That he was merely advising.
Instrumental. He said he advises. And that's why I used the scenario before I came in. I said, Dr. Bawumia said something during his speech, and I kept praying that a lot of Ghanaians would listen to it. He said, I'm not the driver of the vehicle. I have been the mate. I have been the assistant. Being a vice president, your constitutional mandate is totally different. You sit in cabinet, decisions are taken. If at the time, and I always say that circumstances determine decisions that are taken at the time. Circumstances determine the decisions that were taken at that time. If Dr. Bawumia perceives changes, he foresees different solutions and different options. And I think that even most importantly, he has proven that he's a listening leader. He's a listening leader because you listen, you ask yourself that going forward, then what should I do? What should I do?
Why can't he scrap these taxes now?
He's listening.
Why must he wait until 2025? Should he become president before he scraps?
He's not the decision maker. You just said it. Why should he wait until 2025? Because it is in 2025 that if Ghanaians give him the mandate to become president, then he is the driver of the car.
But if he's the head of the economic management team,
he advises.
And vice president,
he's the head of the economic.
It appears it's one of two things.
Let
me just ask you this question: is it that the president does not listen to the vice president and the head of the economic management team when he advises?
The president listens.
Why is it that as head of economic management team, he has no power if he believes that certain taxes are inimical to our economy or to just the pockets of the people of Ghana? His advice, if he's advising that it be scrapped now, he's not listened to.
If he's advising that it be scrapped now, he's not the one to take the final decision.
So his advice
no, it doesn't mean his advice falls on deaf ears. You see, I just said it again, that it's about the circumstances and the time.
What are the circumstances?
Currently, we've gone through a serious economic crisis. We need to raise internal revenue in this country. That is where we've come to. Revenue, domestic revenue, our conditions for meeting IMF. These are the current situations that we face now.
But
and that is why internal revenue or domestic revenue or raising our own revenue sources has become a priority. And his speech did speak to it. But if you notice, what he did was to say that I'm going to look at alternative means. He spoke about taxation to a great length. He said, I'm going to broaden taxes and look at the different avenues and ways of making sure that if I want to be able to cushion the Ghanaian people without implementing all these taxes that people consistently speak about, this is my vision and this is where I'm going to put Ghana. So he did speak about it. He didn't say that I'm not going to tax. No,
for those of you who might have missed yesterday's speech or parts of it, let's take a look at just bits of it before I come to you, Nanaya and Margaret. Let's look at bits of Dr. Bawumia's speech yesterday, especially the parts that talk about taxation, the size of his government, and
Indeed, Dr. Bawumia specified so many things, he outlined so many of his vision and so many things he is able and will do for the people of Ghana. He also said he will abolish so many taxes in Ghana because he has seen that they are actually causing a lot of issues. Please do well to like, comment, follow, put on notification bell so you get all our updates one by one. Thanks, my people.